Welcome to the US CMA Podcast at VGLD, and we have Fennil.
Hi, I'm Fennil Introduction, Director of Growth, Institute of Management Accountants, India Private Limited. Today, I am at VGLD, also known as VG Learning Destination, our approved provider, and I take this opportunity to discuss a lot with the VGLD team. Thank you.
So, what is the exam pattern for the US CMA certification and how VGLD can help you out to prepare?
Okay, so there are two questions. What is the exam pattern and how VGLD can help? Now, the first question for exam pattern, this is interesting to look at when it comes to US CMA. Unlike many other Indian or UK certifications, you don't need to write many exams. That's one of the challenging facts. And what happens in the new world, people are looking at a short time to complete the right certifications, the right knowledge, rather than you're spending hours and years of time for learning anything different. Now, when it comes to CMA exam pattern, it's a two-part exam. But don't say, sometimes people say it's two exams, very easy to pass. I won't say that. It's a two-part exam where we cover 12 core practice areas of management accounting, which means someone who is a qualified CMA, they got a mastery of 12 core areas of management accounting. This makes, again, someone, to get a deeper knowledge. And I earlier mentioned, we are not just testing a candidate from knowledge and comprehension. We test a candidate to their knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. This makes CMA certification most relevant. From exam pattern point of view, I said two exams. Now the next question, how can VGLD help? I'm happy to say VGLD is our approved course provider, which means we award this title based on certain quantitative and qualitative parameters, and we review and renew it every year. And I'm happy again to say that VGLD is able to meet all these requirements, which means they are one of our favorite partners where you can go and learn CMA program.
So, most of the time, students ask us that what is the basic difference between US CMA and Indian CMA, and which one is better?
That's an interesting question. In fact, both certifications are great. One is called as Indian CMA because it is formed under the Indian Parliament Act, and US CMA is formed in the US as a membership and certification body. Now, when it comes to CMA US, as a professional body, we are 100 plus years of professional membership body where we spread across 150 countries with our members and students. Now, that is one side of it. Now, why US CMA is getting more weightage or better recognition across the globe? Now, when it comes to management accounting, I may cover the topics which is more into finance, performance, decision making. That's one side of it. Definitely, unlike Indian certification, we are not going to the tax or any other Indian standard into that, which is management accounting. Sometimes I feel that it's beyond the, or it's a different area altogether when it comes to management account. It's not connected to the rules and regulations of a specific country where we have certifications focused on that particular area. Now, when it comes to CMA, it's more about how to help an organization in decision making. Looking at financial and non-financial data, being a management accountant, you need to advise your decision makers to take a right decision. So management accountants work as strategic enablers as well as strategic business decision makers in the organization. Now, when it comes to US CMA, what happens? We are not just testing your number skills or theory knowledge. We test a candidate up to 3 levels, which is knowledge and comprehension, application and analysis, synthesis and evaluation. This helps a qualified management accountant demonstrate the real experience when it comes to the corporate world. That helps them to quickly grab and help organization in a decision-making process. That's a big difference, I would say, what CMA US brings to the table. I hope I answered your question.
So we may conclude that US CMA will provide more practical knowledge as compared to Indian CMA.
I don't want to compare it because as I told you, all certifications are great, but US CMA is more application oriented and analytical oriented.
So my next question is why most of the companies prefer US CMAs in 2025?
Okay, so what is happening, as we mentioned, the organizations are changing. As I told earlier, almost 50% jobs what you see in the accounting field won't be there in the future. So you need certain skilled people, those who got that analytical skills, application skills, or concept-oriented learning, which they have done it, which help them to apply that wherever it is required. And what we got the feedback from the industry where the CMAs are getting placed, they say the skill set or the adaptability or the application or analytical skills of CMAs are ahead of few other knowledge which gained from the other certifications. So that made CMA as one of the most relevant certification, more sought after certification, even with the industry bodies now, or in organizations for that matter. Now, as a certification, as I mentioned, it gives a person a wide knowledge about how to look at from a business perspective, finance perspective, and help organization in their performance, which means if other certifications give more importance to how to evaluate an organization, whereas management accountants create value for the organization. That's a big difference. So creating value, that is what now industry is looking at. What value you bring to my organization, that's what CMAs are able to help. And that made CMA as one of, again, preferred certification.
How is US CMA shaping the future of finance and accounting in India?
Oh, very good question. In fact, if you really look at, there are a lot of changes and market is getting disturbed or disrupted with technology, analytics, and robotics. Now, what skill set, what we required in the future? According to the studies, what they say, almost 50% of jobs, what you see in accounting field won't be there in the near future. So there are certain skills which is really important to take it up for finance professional. And especially what we have seen in the last 4 to 5 years' time, we have seen a tremendous requirement of management accountants in the industry. Whereas CMA as a certification align well with the requirement and skill sets of management accountants in the finance and even non-finance sectors. Now, how CMA brings the value? Whereas while other certification focus more into accounting, auditing, tax, assurance, which is definitely a great requirement. But on the same time, management accounting focus more into finance, decision-making, performance, which make a professional, a management accountant, most wanted professional in the corporate world. And especially when it comes to technology, analytics and all that, most of the jobs when it is going to go out, whereas you need people with decision-making, analytical skills. And CMA makes that difference, which we have seen in the last few years, the kind of demand increasing day by day for management accountants, and management accountants stay ahead of the crowd.
So my next question is, what are the basic eligibility criteria for US CMA certification?
So you have to look at eligibility criteria from two different perspectives. One is how to get into CMA, and for that, what is the eligibility? Second one is about to get the CMA title, what is the eligibility? There are two eligibility criteria. From the first eligibility criteria perspective, any students or professionals interested in pursuing finance and management accounting can get into this. Now, from a certification point of view, the certification starts from where really you need to have a basic knowledge about accounting and finance. So maybe the best time to start with, maybe while doing your graduation, after your post-graduation, or when you work in the accounting field. So from the eligibility criteria to get into the program, it's an open certification, you can get in anytime. But from the market angle, anyone who's doing undergraduate or postgraduate program, or even working in the professional organization who want to develop their career into finance can get in. Now, in order to say that you're a CMA, or in order to get your title of CMA, first you need to complete both part exam. You should have 3 years of relevant experience in the field of accounting and finance. And third, you should have an active membership. So these criteria which help you to apply for your CMA certification or CMA title. And once you apply for that, IMA will get back to you with the authority to use CMA as a certification.
So what are your final advice you want to give to the student or the working professional who want to enroll in US CMA?
So it's a very good question, because many students ask, or sometimes even institute ask, we face a lot of challenges when students comes to us and when they want to advise. So first of all, anyone who comes to the program, first you need to ask yourself why you want to do the CMA, US CMA exam, or why you want to pursue US CMA exam. First, set your aspirations. Do you want to be someone who working in one corner of the office, or do you want to be a leader? Do you want to be a decision maker? That's the first thing you need to decide. And if your role, interest is towards becoming a decision maker or leader, yes, CMA is one of the best choice. Now, when it comes to CMA, the next thing which you need to look at, I understand it's a 2-part exam. Don't think in a way that is very easy, on the same time it's very difficult. A systematic learning, going through the syllabus, which help you to pass the exam. I have experienced people who are rank holders sometimes fail in the first attempt, whereas even just pass clear exams in the first attempt. Sometimes I say CMA is an examination, you need to have a concept learning, application learning, which help you to clear the exam. Now, you need to learn from 2 perspectives. One is learn it for you to earn it, in a way that you need to earn it, the certification, whereas you need to learn for your future. Second, you need to learn for passing the exams. Both are important. For the second part, for passing exams, what I would suggest, go through the materials, go through the training, and make sure you do multiple practice examination before you're going for the final examination or the final CMA exam. So do practice, practice, practice. Thank you.